Well, these two are all set ready to go. I'm going to really miss them now, actually. The amount of time you put into these model builds, and especially when they come out, you know, well, and you're pleased with them. You really don't want to lose them. You just want to keep them. But I must. I'm doing this part for fun and part to try and you know, increase my income a little bit. After 15 years, or nearly 15 years as a full-time carer, I've got a lot of catching up to do. Anyway, so that's these two. Basically, this is how they're going to go to the customer. So the model's already got all the spare decals and bits and pieces should they ever be needed, because this kit came with two sets of decals, one for the filming miniature, which is the decals I used, and the other set of decals were sort of the same but different. They're basically on the monogram kit, not monogram kit, the Mobius kit. It allows you to build a replica of the filming miniature, this one, or the full-size studio prop that they used to get the actors in and film them against a blue screen in those days. And the only real difference is the red stripe is slightly different shape. Like these are more square on the filming miniature, whereas they were more oblong, longer and sort of longer or wider, if you like, on the full-size version. So Mobius, they actually gave you two sets of decals depending on which one you wanted to make. Power supply, obviously. Well in excess of what it'll do. These things hardly draw any current at all because the LEDs, so it's just a regulated 9 volt 600 milliamp, which is plenty. I've also given Stuart, who's the going to be the new owner of these models, he's got the battery option as well, so he can just plug a 9 volt battery in there if he doesn't want to run it on mains, or he can just use the main setup as I showed you on the previous video. The Reliant, pretty much the same. I've done some rewiring on the Reliant because it wasn't really finished to go out. It was just sort of displayed as it was mine at the time, but now Stuart wants this one as well. So what I've done is I've neatened up the wiring, basically done the same thing with this end. This one will run on battery, but batteries, it's just going to zap the power really quick on a battery. What happens is all the blinkies work, all the navigation lights and the anti-collision lights work, but the windows, there's not enough power from a battery for the windows. So what happens is when the nav lights blink on, the windows dim down. You can see them dim and then come back up again. But once it's on mains, and I've given them, this one's got a better power supply. It's 2.2 amp, way more than this is actually going to draw, but it gives it enough power so that the LED nav lights and anti-collision strobes don't affect the rest of the lighting at all. So the engines and the windows stay absolutely constant, the same brightness, without this dimming that you would see if you were running it from a battery. So yeah, so that's all ready to go. I'm going to miss this one. There's an awful lot of work went into this one. That was such a lot of work. But hey, I can make another one, he says. While these two are waiting to go out, I think Stuart's coming to pick them up on Tuesday. The poor old Millennium Falcon has been relegated to a few spare parts, I'm afraid, until the until the table's available again. Last look at those two. Right, since I've got my workshop set up, I've got the Borg cube out again, and it was a bit too dark before, so I've resprayed it. It's a bit lighter in colour now, and what I've done, it was a darker grey, and what I did last night is I gave it quite a generous wash of a mixture of black paint and thinners, basically, so it's got into all the little nooks and crannies, all the deep recess parts, which help the contrast really stand out. You can really see that there's tons of detail going on this thing now. You don't just get the feeling it's just one little moulding, there's just tons going on. So what I did is I've done a wash, and then I very lightly, just a few moments ago, gave it another spray of grey paint, but I've not gone too heavy, so I've allowed the black to show through and settle, or to settle and show through underneath, so again it gives us this nice contrast so that the surface detail stands out a bit more. Now if you remember this video from before, it all lights up. Basically there's a load of green LED strip lighting in there, and in the dark that looks quite cool. I haven't got a power supply in here at the moment to show you, I don't think. Yes I do actually. I'll hook it all up and show you what it's looking like. Okay, so we've got some power on the Borg cube now. Now in this light you won't see very much, but as I go over the surface you're going to see some little green bits of activity going on inside. There's quite a bit of activity inside the tunnel there. But in this light you're not going to see too much, so what we'll do is we'll put this one off. If I can find the switch. There we go. So this is the cube in low light. There's quite a bit going on. So from an angle, or from the right angle I should say, as you spin it you'll see some green light showing through. Still a bit too bright in here to be honest, but you get the idea. There's some stuff going on in there. So it's really just a bit of painting. I've built a stand for it. The shuttle's on there at the moment, but it's going to have that stand. It's really quite heavy, so it'll distribute the weight nicely, so it can't be knocked over. And then one of the things I've got to do, I've got to make the shuttle a little stand of its own, and it needs a little tiny one. Again, battery powered at the moment, or actually that could be electric or battery. That just lights the windows. The Galactica's a model that I bought actually. I didn't build this one, but the guy who built the stand was very clever and did a super stand with a little 3.5mm jack for the power supply. Unfortunately it broke, wasn't particularly strong, so I'm just in the throes of making a new one where I've got 3.5mm jack, a piece of aluminium tube, and I'm just scouring out the inside of the tube and taking this thread off here, so that will go inside there and ultimately just glue in there, I should think, so I don't have a die to cut this thread. And then that will be a new stand, painted black obviously, for the Galactica, and that will get the power back on for the Galactica. So a few things in between builds at the moment. The guy who is taking the other two models in the other room did ask me to build a Voyager, which I will probably start soon, assuming he still wants me to do it after he's bought those other two. I've got a few I want to do as well, so we'll see which one to go next. Actually, there's quite a few up here. There's more stash upstairs. There's the Iron Man, which I was going to do some little sub-miniature LEDs for the lights and the hand. There's the Jupiter 2 from Lost in Space, Star Trek Klingon, not Klingon, sorry, the K7 space station. Got another Rodman and Warbird here, like the one I built last year. We've got War Machine from War of the Worlds, the new version. The Liberator from Blake 7. That would be really good to build. The trouble is it's tiny. If it was a much bigger kit that would be fantastic. That Jag, incidentally, is still sealed. It's not what I thought it was, so if anybody wants that I'm going to be putting it on eBay soon. It's only about 20 quid I think for the kit. It's a die-cast pre-painted one that you just assemble. We've got an Eagle transporter from Space 1999, and that might be fun. The Walker from Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. Not too much to do with that. Just put a little red LED in the head, because there was a little red glow came out in the film just through that little eye-like slit, and then run the wire down probably through the legs, and build a little diorama with some snow on it for a bit of Hoth, because you get a little snow speeder with that as well. So they're the ones down here that I could choose. I think the others are all upstairs in what I call the warm workshop. This is the cold workshop. This is the warm workshop, so it's a bit clear now. Now I've got current stuff out of the way. Oh, I've got a little B9 robot which was thinking of making. I've just cleaned it up so far, not done anything with it yet, but I might make that up for myself unless anybody's interested. This is Stuart's Voyager kit, which I'll be starting on soon, assuming he still wants it. That's going to be brilliant. That's the Fine Moulds Millennium Falcon, 1/72 scale. Big expensive kit house, 300 quid just for the kit these days to get those on eBay. And then a few more here. You've got the Hunter Killer from Terminator 2. You've got Sequest DSV, if anyone remembers that. There's another Voyager kit. There's the JJ Prize, the JJ Abrams version of the Enterprise. Flying Sub, which is a big kit. That'll be good because I can light up all the interior, the command module inside, all the lights, the reactor wall, all glowing and changing colours. That's the 1350 Enterprise. Again, beautiful kit. That thing's enormous. They'll all be properly lit, and I've got a lighting kit that will give you the spinning lights in the bussards on the nacelles. What else we got? There's another Battlestar Galactica model there, which I think I started that one. Viper Mark II, Viper Mark I at the top. We've got a Klingon D7, the Enterprise E, Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, and then I think right at the bottom there we've got the Enterprise C. So yes, that's the... While I was talking about kit stashes, I thought I'd show you what else is available. Some started, most not. Be fun to do them all at some stage. It's just a case of which one I do next.